I'm Andy Leask. I'm the Ambassador for Chartered Director and Professional Development for the IoD in the East Midlands region. And today I have the privilege to interview Catherine Stone, OBE, and I'm going to grill her about her career and being a Chartered Director. So, Catherine, would you like to tell us, first of all, a little bit about your career, please?
Okay, well, it's a bit of a patchwork of a career, and somebody asked me the other day, did you have a plan? And the short answer is no, not really. But I did know that my purpose, my motivation was to help people. And I set out with the objective of making a difference to people. So it took me to child protection social work, to mental health social work, to regulation and inspection of residential and nursing homes, to training, to promoting equality and inclusion, and then to running a charity for 11 years, which was for people with learning difficulties who'd been victims of abuse or crime. And that later became a real focus for supporting people who'd been victims of hate crime. I then went across to Northern Ireland and became Commissioner for Victims and Survivors of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. I came back to England to be a Commissioner for the Independent Police Complaints Commission. I went on to become the Chief Legal Ombudsman for England and Wales, and I'm now the Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards, and the most well-known bit of my role is investigating allegations of misconduct by members of Parliament.
Yeah, thank you. You do love a challenge, don't you?
I think you could say that my roles have been entertaining and challenging in equal measure, and there have been sometimes when I've just thought, why am I doing this? But it's fantastic.
Now, I admire you, Catherine. I think you're very brave. That's tremendous what you've done and what you continue to do. So you are a Chartered Director. When did you become Chartered?
Okay, so I think it's fair to say that I am a fiercely proud Chartered Director. And I started the Chartered Director programme in 2007, which feels like an impossibly long time ago. And I embarked on the programme with some trepidation because I thought the Institute of Directors wouldn't be a place for people like me working in the voluntary sector with a public sector background, and I couldn't have been more wrong. I was welcomed with open arms, and my knowledge, skill and experience were valued and valued equally alongside colleagues from industry, from business, from banking, from finance, from a whole range of other sectors. And it's fair to say that not only did I learn a huge amount, but it was transformational in terms of the way I've seen my work subsequently.
And when you set out on the journey, did you feel it was for you, for your employer, for both, or did you not know? And did that change through the journey, you know, your view of why you were doing it?
Okay, so I was very fortunate and very grateful to receive a bursary from the Association of Chief Executives of Voluntary Organisations at that time. And I was very grateful for that and will always be very grateful for that. I wanted to do the programme because I felt it would enable me to take the organisation that I was running to a different level. Up to that point, the charity had relied on donations and grants, and what doing the Chartered Director programme enabled me to do was see the charity as a business and start to run the charity as a business and market the knowledge, skill and experience we had within the organisation to fund the work that we did supporting victims. So I was able to market the charity and its skills to police forces, criminal justice agencies, and we were able to develop a commercial arm as well as still applying for for grants and donations, and it certainly helped to diversify and expand the pool of funds, resources that was available to us.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant justification for doing the qualification. Absolutely brilliant. And when you've gone for jobs subsequently, have the people interviewing you understood, recognised what the qualification is? Do you think that's had a bearing on you being successfully appointed?
I think there's a mixed reaction, actually. I think some people understand it, and some people at interview ask about it, and I'm able to promote the idea of a chartered director as somebody who can bring a knowledge and a skills base about governance and what good governance looks like. And that's equally applicable in the private sector as it is in the public sector and within non-government organisations, not-for-profit organisations. And I think we could all really value and appreciate what that brings. I wonder if I could just give an example of how the Chartered Director Programme has really focused some of the work that I do. And that is the thing that sticks out most in my mind from all those training sessions that we did and all the seminars that we attended is the importance of having a vision, a mission, and a set of values for any organisation. And what that's done throughout my career, following undertaking the Chartered Director Programme, has really helped me to focus what it is the organisation that I'm leading is there for. And I distinctly remember some slides that talked about the vision being the top of the mountain. That's where you want to be, that's the ambition. And the mission is the behaviours. How are you going to get there? What are you going to do to get there? So it's that's the journey. And the values are the behaviours that you'll adopt on that journey. And I've been able to use that to focus what each organisation is for. Who are we here for? Why are we doing it? What do we want the outcome to be? And what are the values that support that journey? I've been able to use those things to really focus organisations and bring teams in behind a flag, if you like, or this is what we're about, this is what we do. And once people sign up to, buy into those concepts, it becomes really easy. And it's almost like learning a kind of mathematical theorem or having a key to unlock things, because once people know what's our vision, what's our mission, what are our values, everything you do then has to be informed by or derived from those things, because otherwise you're into mission creep, or you're doing something that you probably haven't got the knowledge, skill and experience to do. And if you keep it focused on those things, it can really drive the organisation forward and give everyone a sense of purpose and ambition about what they're there to achieve. It is the most fantastic thing, and it's something that has really helped me and my teams and the organisations I've been responsible for. And I cannot promote it highly enough as a way of going about reviewing what your purpose is. It's fabulous.
That's a really powerful message, Catherine, for people working in the non-profit organisations, for directors who might not think it's for them, think it's more of a commercial thing. And what you've just said then, I think, totally justifies Chartered Director for people in all sectors. It's tremendous. My next question was really about governance in your sector. Do you see governance as good in the sector general, or do you think there's still a long way to go?
Okay, well, as you know, Andy, I'm not working in not-for-profit sector right now. And I think there are some pockets of extremely good practice. And there are some organisations that really, really promote governance and good governance. And sadly, there have been some examples, some really high profile examples of where governance has gone badly wrong. And organisations have crashed and burned, in the public gaze. I wouldn't like to say that that is solely within not-for-profit organisations, because there are some public sector organisations, including local authorities and councils and others, where governance hasn't been as it should be, with really difficult outcomes. I think there's a lot to learn across all the sectors, and each sector can really add value to the others, understanding and learning about what good governance looks like. And it just seems to me, I read another outcome of doing the Institute of Directors programme. I do read the business pages now, and I'm really, really interested whenever something kind of crashes and burns, when a bank goes or a big organisation goes, it's usually the governance that hasn't been properly assessing risk, or hasn't been properly separate from the executive, or hasn't been doing its job properly about holding the executive to account. So, governance is one of those crucial things that sadly sometimes people think they assume they know what it means, and they assume they know what it looks like. And the Chartered Director Programme really does give people a theoretical basis for understanding how their knowledge, skill and experience can be informed by or can inform the development of better governance to promote more resilient organisations.
Yeah, you've answered my next question before I asked it.
Oh.
That was going to be the wider topic of good governance in PLCs and the like, because we've seen some, obviously, as you mentioned, high-profile failures. I think with regard to SMEs, do you think the word governance is potentially a bit of a turn-off for SMEs? I think that's not for me. Governance is for big organisations, and maybe we need to explain that a bit better to SMEs to get them engaged.
I think it's really difficult, and I've been aware of some SMEs, very, very successful SMEs, family businesses, through personal contacts in my own personal network, and talking to them about governance, and they say, we don't need governance. We're a family-run organisation, and we all get on really, really well. Well, even families fall out. And when it comes to second and third generation of family businesses, I think it's so important that people step back and put those structures in place, because they are the framework to enable the otherwise difficult and challenging conversations to be had without any worries about causing offence or upsetting people. And if you're able to separate out the governance from the operational delivery, it becomes a much more strategic way of looking at problems or challenges, or even how are we going to build on our success, for all organisations, SMEs included. I think it's such a positive thing. And you can probably hear that it's one of the things I get most excited about is governance in organisations. It probably means I should try and get out a little bit more. But it's nonetheless really genuinely an exciting thing for me.
Catherine, it's great to hear your passion on these topics, and to hear your experience through your working life. It's absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to draw it to a close there, but thank you so much for letting me talk to you. And I'm sure a lot of people found what you said very valuable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.